Hello princesses! Today I'm going to be doing a chit chat get ready with me. Today I'm really not doing that much. I'm doing some cheek swatches for the review that is probably already up by the time you're seeing this, and I have to go out and pick up my little brother from a bus stop, and that is about it. But I really wanted to show you guys something new that I've picked up. It's new now for me in November, but of course this video isn't going up until December. But in order to be able to get this many videos up in December and still work full-time, I have to pre-record things, so that's just kind of the way it goes. So I've got MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NC10 and then a newer release which is the Studio Fix Fluid in NC5. Oh my gosh, like I feel like I've been saying that I would be, if I had a perfect shade, it might be like NC5 for ages and ages. And I'm wearing it at the moment. It's a little bit lighter on camera, so I think there's like a little bit of bounce back, but it's actually a really good warm toned yellow shade. Like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for forever for MAC to make this because I love Studio Fix Fluid as a formula, but the color NC10 was so neutral for something that's considered like a warm tone foundation. So if you guys would like to see how I achieved this super simple look, then please just keep watching. So today I'm going to be priming my face with the Sim 37 Air Rising Dazzling base. I got this in a Rose Shop order that wasn't mine. So what happened was Rose Shop actually sent me someone else's order which contained this and a bunch of other samples, and I was like, that's not mine. But they let me keep it anyway, so I'm going to give it a go. So it's basically just like a silver shimmery primer, and because I'm going to be using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid, which is pretty matte on my skin, I thought it'd be quite nice to add a little bit of shine to my skin as well. I'm pretty much putting it all over my face, but I'm just avoiding putting it right in the center here because I've already got large pores there, so I don't want them to look any more large. But it does have quite a nice thin texture, like it's quite easy to apply and it blends into the skin really nicely. I don't know if I like it enough to purchase it full size. I feel like it's just a little bit too shimmery for me personally, and I don't use super matte foundations all the time anyway, so it's not a necessity. I already have the Eyeliner Back to Baby Glow Beams, which have a similar effect. I feel like this one, if you don't like how sticky the Eyeliner ones are, this one will probably be a bit better, but being Sim 37 is probably really expensive. So a little goes a really long way. For each one of those little sample sachets, I would say you could probably get like 4 to 5 uses out of it. It's 1 ml. And I've already done my whole face and I've still got a ton left, and I'd used that sample sachet already. So a little bit goes a very long way. It is a nice base, but I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think that I should be purchasing this? So for my base today, I wanted to show you guys the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in the shade NC5. So I didn't even know that they had NC5. I didn't know they had new shades. But when I was looking at my MAC store in Hamilton, I saw like a display with like a bunch of Studio Fix Fluid bottles, and I was like, those are all very pale. I didn't think they had that many pale shades. So I was like having a little nosy on through and found that they did like MAC NC5, NC12, and all of these other different colors. So I got them to give me a sample of NC5 because I already have NC10 and it's a good level of pale, but it's still too neutral for me. Okay, so the swatches, I've got the Anastasia in Siberia to the left. Then we have the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NC5, and then MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NC10. You can see that the NC5 is definitely more yellow and warm toned, but it's actually kind of a little bit darker than NC10, which is so very confusing, but it still works with my skin, so that is totally fine. Just for a bonus, because I thought it looked quite similar, that is the Etude House Double Lasting Serum Foundation in the shade Y03 Ivory. It's really a close match to NC5. It actually is a little bit lighter though, I think. Nothing is as light and as yellow as Anastasia in Siberia, but that's kind of to be expected. So that is what all of the colours look like there. So I'm just going to use a cushion puff to apply this because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered dampening my beauty blender. And this works just fine. So you can see that NC5 is super yellow. It's not quite as yellow as Anastasia in Siberia, which is so annoying, but I mean, most things aren't quite as yellow as that. And most people, I guess, maybe just aren't as yellow as I am, but that's fine. I absolutely adore the formula of the MAC Studio Fix Fluids. It's a really beautiful matte that doesn't make my skin look dry, and it is my favorite foundation for performances. I've been trying to get a good color in it for so long. I started out with NW10, which is the cool toned one, but it was the right kind of shade, or like lightness, I guess is probably the word I'm looking for. So it was pale enough for my skin, but it did make me look a little bit ghostly because it was so warm tone, so cool toned. So the cool tone means that it's a little bit pink, and the pink just makes me look a little bit bright in the face, which is frustrating. But because I liked the formula so much, I just kind of like dealt with it and just kept using it. And then they came out with NC10, which I then got afterwards, and I've had that for about maybe like 2 years, and I like, again, it was better than NW10, but it was still really neutral in tone. So on me, because I have very yellow skin, it just didn't look right. So in order to fix that, I would use a very yellow powder. So I was using the Mercier powder in Ivory, which is very, very yellow, and it would kind of help to yellow my face out a bit. But that is NC5, so I think that it looks really, really good. On camera, it's looking slightly brighter than what I would like, but in real life, I can't see too much of a difference between my face and neck, which is like, finally. I've still got a ton of this left in this sample pot, so I'm going to continue using it for a little while just to see if I really, really love it in every aspect and every lighting and all of that stuff. But I'm really happy with the color. I just think that finally there's one that is actually yellow. So I'm going to set that using my Mercier translucent powder. It doesn't particularly need to be set that much because it is a matte finish on my skin, but I am going to be doing some blush swatches later, so I'm just going to set it so that it doesn't move or anything like that. So I'm using a fluffy brush. This is the Real Techniques blush brush. It's like a little domed shape, but I just find that this works really, really well for my skin, and it means that I can work in smaller areas. So a lot of the time, if I'm using foundation that might, like this one, set itself easily, I would only powder in certain areas, so always around my nose, my forehead and my chin, and then generally around my eyes as well, just so that they don't crease, because my eyes love creasing. But sometimes I'll leave like my cheeks a little bit dewier, so if I have such a huge powder brush that it covers most of my face, it doesn't work that well for spot powder. So next up, I'm going to do my brows with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade in the shade Granite. Just because I am recording today, I'm just going to use the darker, more intense brow product that I have. I do actually really like this though. I think that it works really, really well for my brows. I need to hold this so that I don't move out of frame. But it is a little bit hard to work with sometimes, this formula. It's just so pigmented, it's not very forgiving, especially for beginners. This is also starting to dry out a little bit, so I need to get some eye drops and just mix it up a little bit. But I can just dip into the newer side of the brow product that I have, but it's the older side that I have been using for a while that's getting a little bit dry. But that being said, I have had this for ages, like over a year, so cream products do tend to dry out. That's just something that happens with all cream products, really. They don't last forever. Alright, done and done. I feel like the dark brows don't look so bad with my hair at the moment because I've got so much dark hair at the moment, because I'm growing the bleach out for a little while and then re-bleaching it. Yay. So for eyeshadow, I'm keeping it simple today because I have to go into town and pick up my baby brother from the bus stop. So I'm just going to be using the TonyMoly Mark Glitter Liquid Eyeshadow in the shade 1. So it's just a really nice sheer silver sparkle. I'm actually trying to decide whether I want to keep this one. I think it's really pretty. It's just, I don't know. I don't really seem to get that much wear out of it. So I'm just using a small flat shader brush to help me to spread those glitters out a little bit more evenly and get rid of any extra liquid and stickiness. This color is really pretty. It's just like really subtle because it really is only silver shimmer. There's no real underlying pigment to the shadow. It's just, yeah, it's silver glitter in a liquid form. Okay, done with the eyeshadow. So keeping it super, super simple. I don't know, tell me what you guys think about this eyeshadow. Do you think it is worth keeping? It is just silver glitter. And now I'm going to move on to eyeliner, and I'm going to be using the Holika Sharp Pen Liner as well as the It's Top Professional No Smudge Brush Pen Eyeliner. Both of these are still going, but they're both unable to do a full eye wing on both eyes, so I need to use both of them at the same time, which is like so annoying. But I'm going to cut away to my finished eyeliner now. Okay, eyeliner done. I'm terrible at talking while doing my eyeliner, so I just skip that. So next I'm just going to use my Shooting Mirror Eyelash Curler. This is probably going to be the most boring get ready with me. I don't really have that much to talk about apart from the new MAC foundation, which I don't really want to review because I've already reviewed it and compared the other one to NC10 and NW10, so it seems kind of pointless to do it again. I mean, the formula hasn't changed. Next up, I'm going to do my mascara, which is still the Lancome Grandiose mascara. I really need to get another one, but this one just doesn't seem to want to die or dry up, which in a sense is kind of good, but yeah, it's weird. I do enjoy this mascara, but I feel like it does transfer quite easily, so I end up with little panda eyes quite easily, especially when it is warm. So in that aspect, it's not great, but it's still a fine mascara. I think it's probably not worth how much it is though. I think that there's some really great Japanese mascaras on the market that are better and way cheaper. And the lower lashes, which I can't talk while doing because otherwise I will smudge it underneath my eyes. Okay, so that is the eyes, so we are going to move on to blush. So today I'm actually going to be doing swatches for the Face Shop Cheek Pop. They're not the cheek pops, but they're called something else. Blush pop maybe, something to do with pop blushes, and I'm going to be doing swatches for them. So what I'm going to do is apply the first one and talk you guys through it like I'm going to be doing the swatch, and then use the footage later for the swatch anyway. So this is shade number 1, which I don't know the actual shade name of. So what I'm going to do with this one is, because I find that the blushes grab quite a bit, I'm going to tap the blush brush into the blush and then tap it on the top so that I don't have too much pigment on my brush. And then I'm just going to apply it in little circular motions. And that is one side all done. So I find that tapping the brush into the top of the lid makes it so much more easy to apply. Otherwise I feel like these really grab onto your foundation, especially if you use something that has a more dewy finish. Because I'm wearing a MAC Studio Fix Fluid foundation today, it doesn't grab as much because it's already really well set and it's not sticky. So I'm going to finish up with lips, and I'm deciding between 2 of the Innisfree Cotton Vivid Ink tints. So I have number 11, which no, I think that's too dark. And then I guess I'm going to go with number 7, which I think is something to do with tulips. It's a lighter pink in any case. And then I'm just going to apply a little bit of a darker shade. This is shade number 4 in the middle to give a little bit of a gradient. Well, that was a lot darker than I expected it to be. And that is it for the lips. I actually do like these Innisfree tints. I'm waiting on 2 more so that I can swatch and review all of them. I just could not find number 14 and number 15. The only gripe with them though is that like halfway through the day I'll notice that there's like a thick ring of like product buildup around the center of my mouth, which is really gross to look at. So that's the only thing I do not like about these. Alright, so this is it for today's look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me get ready and have a little chit chat about things. I can't even remember what we talked about aside from the fact that I really wanted to talk about the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in the new colour. That was pretty much the basis of this video. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!